Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got all the young girls going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drink rum like Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, looking for the Yankee dollar.
Pieguy, Week 9, Rants from Rouges, Season 2. Back with you with some CFL bets. It was an interesting week last week. We can jump right into it, but first I want to know, how was your camping trip, man? You were gone for the whole weekend.
It was okay. I'm not the biggest camper. I had a good time. It was a good time. It was good people. It was different, interesting. I think I was a little distracted by the camping trip last week. I'm going to blame that on the bets. It wasn't my greatest week. I mean, the first bet, I wasn't 4 injuries to the Stamps, all impact. Yeah. And we were up, still with 2 or 3 injuries in. The Stamps were up 7, and that was unfortunate. Winnipeg was wrong. That was the wrong side. And then Saturday, what was it? Saturday?
Yeah. Saskatchewan
blew. They had a big lead and they fell asleep, and then a little bit, and then of course we hit the Ticats. The under was wrong, but the under was looking okay for a little bit. But again, it's just it's the CFL. It's hard.
It was, you get one of these weeks every year where you just everything goes the other way. It wasn't rushing in our way. Look, the spots requested it, just given McLeod starting, McLeod starting, and Montreal not being at 100%. But yeah, the 4 injuries to Calgary, in particular, the biggest one, and actually one of the reasons you see 8 points move across the board this week, being Vernon Adams. And we got to see what was pretty much a full quarter of small time football. PJ Walker jump in, and it looked a little tough there. And the injury report didn't look great for them this week as well. But yeah, the Calgary game, kudos to Montreal. Kudos to, 90% of the CFL community had Calgary winning that game. Montreal played their game. They played it really well, and they a little bit of luck there with the injuries, and you hung in and you get the dub. That's a good football team there. Don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
So the one thing, I know Montreal Twitter was having fun, but everybody picked the Stamps. I saw people with bets on the Stamps going, or on Montreal saying, we didn't need the points, this, that, and the other. He took 4 injuries. You know what I mean? Okay, congratulations, you won your bet, you won your game. Come on, have a little humility. You got a little bit lucky there. Damien Alper going down, Adrian Green going down, and then of course Vernon Adams going down had a lot to do with Montreal winning that game and covering. Were they the right side on the spread? Maybe. Calgary was a little slow. They were still winning. By 7, deep into the third.
They were up, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Injuries happen. Of course, it was a rough stretch there for Calgary. And they're playing again this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. But before we get there, I just want to talk about BC. I'm worried about the Lions. They're on bye, so I just want to get them in here now. I have big concerns about the Lions. Now that's 2 games now. So the one game they stole, and this game they let get away. They have beaten the Elks twice, and Montreal in a game they should have lost. Now you could argue they should have won this game. I mean, they had that wicked interception. Good on the guy. I have his name written down, but I can't think of it on top of my
Carter
head.
Jr.
Carter Jr. A fantastic play of the year. I don't think it's going to be tough to top that.
So,
but
unless he
that was
does it again.
yeah, it was a ridiculous interception. But yeah, that Rourke, and I did not like him. He was deflecting blame. You know, in the media sessions, there was
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some movement. We haven't heard it this week, but you know, I the takeaway I had from that game was someone's gonna have to go this week. I mean, you practically had the game won, and I'm watching this game in the last 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, Rourke plays the 2-and-out, thinking he has the offside. First of all, buddy, you play the whole game. You play the whole play, regardless of flags or not. Don't think you have just a free play because you happen to see out of the corner of your eye an offside. You know, granted, called or not, it doesn't matter. You play the whole thing. He even said he had McInnes open, didn't toss it to him. So there's that. So they kick it over.
I didn't know. Yeah, that's his own fault. You know,
Well, that's on him. And he wasn't owning it. And granted, like, okay, that's fine. But the bigger problem was you give Bo Levi Mitchell 2 minutes, and all you care about the entire drive as they're marching 10 yards by 10 yards by 10 yards is covering the deep coverage. Is just let's make sure Lawler doesn't get this ball. Make sure
Lawler doesn't.
And who's getting all the balls? Smith, 10 yards.
On my fantasy team. He was on my fantasy team.
You know, and all I'm seeing is like, where is the short coverage? Everyone is deep. They're not throwing it deep. They're walking down the field, and if anything, they go to OT. If anything, they go to OT. If anything else, they're in the red zone and they toss a win, and that's what they did. You just poor planning from that coaching staff.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what's going on. I told you at the beginning, I didn't like Buck Pierce as the head coach. You've already lost twice to Winnipeg, and we'll talk about them in a bit. They don't look very threatening to anybody else right now. The bye week, they got to figure some things out. Now they get Hamilton off the bye. In Hamilton. It's a good spot in Hamilton, but I mean, the Hamilton on a short week, and you're coming off a bye. Okay, if they lose that game, then it's like you got to start ringing the panic button because it's not going to get like that's like, you know, after that you got the Alouettes who own your ass. Then you go to the Argos, and then you're at Argos, at Red Blacks, or Eastern road trip. You know, it's not going to get, maybe Red Blacks at home, okay, but you still got to play Calgary a couple of times. We'll see what happens with the injuries. They get the Elks one more time. So, I mean, it's not the toughest schedule in the world, but
listen, what I don't like to hear is this online community of CFL fans, in particular BC Lion fans, jumping right away going, we got the crossover. The crossover's a lock-in. It's not a lock-in. The Argos are not getting pushed around. The Red Blacks are not going to be pushed around either. You're telling me they're one game back?
Well, BC's got three wins. The Argos have 2. Yeah. The Red Blacks have 1. They're facing PJ Walker this week.
They're going to sweep Calgary.
I mean, last week he didn't look too. Let's go into that game now. But yeah, BC. You're going to be 1 game up, and then not only that. I know Winnipeg's crashing a little bit, but
yeah,
you never know. The Elks have a win. They're only 2 games by now. You have the tiebreaker, but stranger things have happened. I think BC is in trouble here. They picked their guy. I don't like the vibes though in the locker room. It's not like. Something's wrong there. I don't know what it is. But yeah, something is wrong in BC. We blamed the offensive line for a long time. They look to have made steps forward this year. Now that 37 points at home. I mean, and you had like an amazing interception. I think the Ticats turned the turned the ball over a couple of times more.
You did. Penalties and you had all momentum going into the second half, and you had all the momentum going into the last 3 minutes of the game. Everything was talking BC, and
they continue to be favorites. especially at home, and they continue to lose. So unless they're playing Edmonton, so it's more disappointment for BC, and I guess it's good for one of my futures. The rest aren't looking so hot, but that one it looks pretty good right now. I need a couple more losses, but looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, talking about futures and losses, is the Calgary under 6 wins live?
Under 7.
Under 7, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, the VA's out long term, and PJ Walker plays like he played on Thursday night. Oh, it's definitely live because now here's another thing though. Trey Ford might be on the market, so if he's actually,
you think so?
I think
no.
I don't know. I mean, they're not starting him. Did you? We'll talk about them later, but more. You want to talk about another disaster?
Yeah.
So yeah, if VA is out long term, sure, why not? Calgary could lose out. I wouldn't be shocked. They don't have a quarterback right now, unless PJ Walker shows me something that he's never showed me in the CFL.
He also doesn't have a receiving corp right now. Not for this game.
Well, they have Rhymes, but Rhymes and Tevin Jones. It's pretty good. Two pretty good players. So last week we talked about the absolute disaster. Alfred with the hamstring. Green, leaves after the interception. Jalen Philpott's still out. Clark Barnes is still out. And, of course, VA is out with a head injury. Calgary, though, is a smart organization, and they're going to sit his ass down for a game. They understand that there's bigger fish to fry, and we're 5-2, and, who cares if we lose another game to Ottawa.
Yeah, if there's a game in the drop, it's this one.
Plus, you get to look at PJ Walker for a full 60 minutes, see what you have with Mr. PJ Walker, see if he has anything, or because he's only really been in for spurts here and there, but everything I've seen from PJ Walker, he doesn't look good. I don't want to use the bum word yet, but his play has been bad. Next week, maybe I'll use that word. But,
it didn't look great in the fourth. Not at all.
The one thing...
Granted, it was against Montreal's defense, so, welcome to the CFL, buddy. Here you got the secondary that's a little weak. Although, Ottawa is pretty healthy this week. A lot of people returning.
Ottawa has their full offense for the first time all season. Peter Godber will be back behind. We've been talking about him all season. Braylon Addison is back. Drew Brown is fine after that hit. And Calgary has cluster injuries at wide receiver and defensive back. That is not what you want when you're playing the Ottawa Red Blacks, because there's one strength. The Ottawa Red Blacks is the defensive line, and they can stop throwing. Ottawa is missing. I forget, it's Chainling Wen or something. I'll look up his name.
Wait,
but they're missing one different.
Lang.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Lang. Playing Lang. Sorry. He is out, and that's a big loss. So maybe Dietrich Mills can get something going here, but this line opened Calgary -4.5, and now we're seeing Ottawa minus. And I bet Ottawa +4.5 because I saw the spot. I grabbed it earlier. I got the money line up plus the -200. I got it very early. I was ready like, this is a great spot. Calgary's banged up. Ottawa's healthy as can be, coming off a bye. Yeah. They didn't fire Bob Dice. I don't know about that, but they like him. The players like him, and Ottawa's been playing better. The last 2 games against Hamilton, they played much, much better than they did earlier in the season. They're much better on defense, especially. Now they're healthy on offense. This is the game. PJ Walker banged up secondary. I know Dave Dickinson's out there saying, we didn't do enough to help PJ Walker. Well, there's only so much you can do to help PJ Walker if he's no good. And I have a feeling, from what I've seen since he's in both the NFL, I know he's great in the XFL, but in the NFL and the CFL, he's been a scrub. He hasn't been any good. So PJ Walker going to be near me. I'm still going to, for the show purposes, obviously can't give up the lines I got, but I'll take the 3.5, -3.5. I still endorse it. Ottawa should win this game going away. Unless PJ Walker has some magical XFL revival. This is like, one of the all-time spots. Ottawa, like you want to talk about a 1-6 team who basically, fought for their coach, and the management said, okay, we're going to stick with Dice. It wasn't the dreaded vote of confidence. It's, oh yeah, he is my vote of confidence. No, it was more like, yeah, we're going to stick with him. He's the leader kind of thing. You know what I mean? And that interview at halftime might have saved him, where he called out, hey, we got to throw that guy out, hitting Drew Brown. The players like Bob Dice. All right. They want him to stick around. This team's got talent. They had talent at the beginning of the season. A lot of people picked them to be in the Grey Cup. They're 1-6. Now you got a little bit of a can here. I know Calgary's been excellent for the first 8 weeks, 7 games.
Yeah.
And last week, the show title was "Keep on Riding." Well, the ride has ended. The turning point has happened here this week, and you're going to see a lot of different mirrors. I don't know smoke and mirrors, but the tides have turned with the injuries and sort of the spots here and the rest advantage. Give me the Red Blacks -3.5. This no-brainer, not no-brainer. I mean, this is like an obvious, but you see the 8 points. Like, there could be 14, 15 points between PJ Walker and Vernon Adams. Like, the way, like, he couldn't complete a pass. I know he completed a couple of passes, but I mean, he looked awful. And he
didn't look
great. So I'm gonna bet that PJ Walker can't beat us with a banged up wide receiver room and a banged up secondary. And Ottawa's not going to let Dedrick Mills run the ball. They're going to say, PJ Walker, you're going to have to beat us.
Yeah,
and if
you're
he beats
them,
he beats them. I mean,
it is.
Another thing, Adrian Green doesn't play. He's questionable. I didn't look into it. I don't think he's going to play. But that screws up their Canadian ratio. So, because they signed Canadian defensive back Delaney Robinson, and that's not a good,
they might have to throw him in. Yeah.
And he might have to play. So that's not good. So
don't you love it?
Yeah.
Don't you love the ratio rule?
Well, I don't hate it, but I mean, maybe
that's great. I think tactically,
what they should do is, because what if all the Canadians get hurt?
Oh, in terms of injury lots,
you should be able to. If you have like 2 or 3 of them on injury, you should be able to be
an American back. Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have the ability to nationalize Americans if they've played in the CFL for so many years. But
you
can only grant it for a couple guys. But yeah,
well, I mean, like, it's not like, okay, like in hockey, like, okay, I got a bunch of centers here, maybe I move a winger to center. You can't really do that.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean? Like, it's you're kind of you got to sign like guys off the street.
Yeah,
which I guess is good.
It's not for them. I mean, the Argos have been doing it all season, and it's kind of paying off a little bit. Before we jump into that game, I did want to just talk about this 8-point change, and not so much the points being changed, but the response from sport books, and whether or not you think we should be thinking about, when we're betting the CFL, if people should be thinking about betting earlier before these injury reports come, given like previous week activities. So we know, for example, Vernon got knocked. We know he got concussed. The likelihood of him playing this game is probably less. We got a quarter of PJ Walker. You bet Ottawa early. But the books only changed this line pretty much today.
Yeah. He was announced out, So
Yeah,
what happened was the book kind of got caught. So I was surprised they released the line. What happened was Vernon practiced on Monday.
He did,
and
yes.
The reports were he was going to play, right? I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait. Because I was going to take Ottawa regardless. The reports was that, so I was going to wait for him to be announced in, and maybe I get like 6 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then Tuesday he didn't practice. But the books already had the lines out. So then I bet it when I saw he didn't practice. And then today when he was announced out, you saw the move to pick him and then Ottawa 3.5, which is they shouldn't have put the line out. I don't know why. Like, I'm surprised they did. I know you got it. Like nowadays with the competitive nature, you get like good for them for putting it out, right? Like in the NFL, like 5-6 years ago, if there was a quarterback question mark, there would be no line.
Oh,
You
really?
wouldn't have a line.
So the books would be more controllable. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the limits were. My limit, I'm not betting, the 10 dimes out here, but like the limits are probably low. I bet a couple different sports books, so you can spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like if one sports book taking a few hundred, others takes a few hundred.
Do you think we'll see this again this season? Just given the market of CFL and sports betting, I mean, frankly, the biggest book for CFL right now is FanDuel, mainly because of their sponsorship deal with TSN. So they tend to give a line, like the next week's line, a whole week ahead of time.
Yeah, I was surprised. A lot of the books had this line out on Monday, but I guess it's a Thursday game. But I was pretty shocked that it was out at all because of the quarterback thing. But the CFL goes under the radar. You can take advantage. I remember I bet against Ottawa a few weeks ago. I got to pick them because I'm like, Drew Brown's not going to play. The line's going to move like 3-4 points, and it did. But in this case, the difference between Vernon Adams and Pieguy Walker.
It's like this.
At least 7 points. Yeah, for sure. Like 8. Yeah, I might like. I don't even know if it could be 5.5. In my opinion,
even the book
still looks a little light. It still looks a little light, given the situation. Because no, it's not just VA. VA, Adrian Green, Damian Alford, Jalen Philpott, Clark Barnes, a couple more DBs. Yeah, it's a long list.
It's ratio issues.
Guys back, so. Yeah, read the tea leaves. You can get in early. You can get the good numbers.
Yeah.
You gotta get when it comes to injuries. You gotta really be on. Like when you see something like, especially if it's a quarterback, or we'll talk about another player. Right, there are 2 more players that I've made
another
because they're not playing. There's
another
quarterback.
Yes, this line
but
also
not the reason I made.
But this line also started at 6.5. And it's jumped down 3 points with Claros out officially. But
yes. So I didn't make the bet for this game on Monday because I didn't care who was playing quarterback for Winnipeg. I think it's a 0. I didn't care. I think Stravler might even be an upgrade in my opinion. I've talked about this a few weeks ago. So that's the reason I didn't bet the 6.5 for Toronto early in the week. I waited because I wanted to see the injury report for one man, and that man's name is Stanley Bryant, and he's out. Yes, so I bet the Argos. They have not won. They've won a game with Chris Trevler starting. They won week 1 with Chris Trevler starting. They have not won a game without Stanley Bryant, and he's the injury that matters here because without him, they look horrid.
He's the guy who lets Brady run. He's the guy who lets Brady run. He's the guy who lets Brady run.
Brady's playing well. Kenny Lawler's in Hamilton. Dalton Schoen's hurt again. And Nick Dembski is being, double, triple team because, who's going to be Carrick Wheatfall was a good week 1 and 2. And, I guess he's been figured out now. So, there's adjustments. And I don't. So I bet Winnipeg last week because I thought Toronto was dead to rights. And Montreal was awful. When he was crying. It was an absolute spot where they looked dead in the water. Even when he said after the win, everybody counted so that we were dead in the water. We fought. This Argo team, this something, man. They're tough. I mean, that was a brutal spot. Brutal spot. Like the coach even. You never see the coach say that. You know what I mean? He said, everyone thought we were dead. With good reason. And they showed me the tough team, man. 2-5 now. I mean, but you look at who they've played. It's been murderers row. I'm just going to pull up the schedule here.
Guys. Yeah. Bringing up Calgary.
Montreal twice, both with Davis Alexander, right? Hamilton, who they have, who's first in the West right now. So 2-5-2 teams. Saskatchewan, who they took to, basically
Right to the last play.
It would have went to overtime. Was it for Mario Alfred? Ottawa, you beat, right? And then Calgary, who's was killing everybody. It looked like by far the best team in the league. So I mean, you've lost to the top 4 teams in the league, and you beat Winnipeg and Ottawa, the sort of middle to lower tier teams right now. Anyways, based on the standings. Yeah. So when you look at this Toronto team, how bad really are they? Should they be underdogs here? I don't think so. So I took Toronto. I also did take Ottawa. We already talked about that. Toronto.
Did you take Toronto straight up?
Yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, the plus 3.5 for 1 unit, and then the money line for a third of a unit. And this was the key thing. DeMonte Coxey over 70.5 receiving yards. That you can get that at Bet365 right now. It's 5 yards cheaper than FanDuel, and those are like the 2 books that really have the yardage this early in the week. But because he was being covered last week by Tyrell Bonds, who's like 5 inches shorter than him, and he was just cooking him. Colsey's been good. He's been great all season. Yeah. And now Dinwiddie's cooking. Arbuckle looks confident. That McManus is back. The defense looks good. Okay, Sluka was on the injury report. That's a little bit of a concern because he's a big. Is he playing? I didn't look at the.
He's out. He's actually out.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a bit of a concern because he's been sort of the turnover guy. But they have depth with McManus back. It's not too concerning. I'm just impressed. I'm impressed, and that they beat the Bombers 4 straight. And Arbuckle is second time in a row cooking them after the Grey Cup. And meanwhile, the other side, no Stanley Bryant, no Dalton Schoen. Okay, Chris Drevler might be a little bit of an upgrade. It might be. I would have liked Kalaros here.
Bomber fans are asking for Wilson to take the ball over Strevler.
Oh, they're out of their minds.
I think so too.
Okay, sure. Put him in there. Well, I guarantee if it's Wilson, this line goes 2.5, maybe down. And then I don't know. We might go pick him with Strevler's good. Okay, enough of this. I hate this. People say Strevler's so good. Watch him play. He was fine. He was fine against Calgary. He was fine in the game 1. He was fine last week. He scored a touch. I know it was garbage time, but he was fine. He's a good quarterback. Zach's been the problem. He's been no good. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know the cell phone thing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Zach, but he hasn't been himself.
Did you like Brady's? Did you like Brady's?
I forgot about that. I saw that today. My God, he says, the Winnipeg Post says, we're confident. He didn't sound confident. He sounded defeated. No, Brady, he sounded defeated. Confidence. There was no confidence there. He looked around the room for an answer. I'm just like, what is it?
He was looking for things.
He knows they're in tight. He knows like Toronto's got this team's number. And they got Calgary next week. So maybe it's the PJ Walker show to get this guys back on track. But I know it's Winnipeg at home, and I know they've had a stellar home record, but Stanley Bryant matters as far as I'm concerned. And you're getting 3.5 with the team who looks to be better right now. They're definitely in better form. They played 3 good games in a row. Winnipeg hasn't played a good game since before the bye. Yes, who they own. It's like BC beating the Elks. It's like Winnipeg owns BC. BC owns the Elks.
It's just in order, One thing I want to say about Toronto is, obviously Chad Kelly officially now on the 6th game IL. I don't know if he sees the ball this season. Maybe they don't need him. But I think right now everyone is on board. This is Arbuckle's team. That's it.
Yeah, I think putting him on
it's not a backup anymore. He's QB1. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Putting him on the IL was the should have done it from the beginning. Not only do you get the roster spot and the salary space, you also get you also get rid of all the noise. You can, the last few weeks, maybe they told the team before, like Chad Kelly's not coming back anytime soon. and they've kind of locked in. They said, okay, it's fine. We don't need it. We won the Grey Cup with Nick Arbuckle. And look, since then, Nick Arbuckle's cooking. McManus is back. The offensive line is playing better. The offensive line was awful for the first, 3 weeks. I think he got sacked a couple. Arbuckle, I think, got sacked. Was it 5 times last week, or was that something else?
I don't know.
When Winnipeg won the sack battle, that was the only thing they won.
And it was like 4-3, something like that, or maybe.
But they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't move the ball. They won the sack battle, so Winnipeg has an advantage in the trenches for their defense against the Toronto O-line. But Toronto's, without stealing Brian, Toronto's saying, okay, maybe Toronto's playing more run defense, which is probably correct because Winnipeg's wide receivers are Carrick Wheatful and Nick Dembski, who's more of a slot guy than an outside threat. So. Winnipeg's going to be in tight. And also, another thing about taking Toronto here, if Winnipeg does win this game, it's just a Strevler game. It's going to be, like 20-19. It's not going to be – Strevler's not going to – he's not. I don't think he's going to do what he did to BC. As much as I like Chris Strevler, I don't think he's going to do what he did to BC. So, that's why I take the points, third of on the money line. I think Coxie cooks Bonds again because it's not nothing to do with Bonds being bad. It's just – he's bigger. Height. It's a height difference. He's been a top receiver. He's been Argo's top receiver. And
him and Mattel.
70.5, he could get that on, 2 catches. And he did that a few weeks ago. I remember I bet him over a couple of weeks ago. So we're going back to the well a little bit here with Coxie.
All right. Did you say we're taking the points too here?
So 1 unit, Toronto 3.5. Third of a unit, Toronto money line, and then half a unit, Coxie over 70.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
So 3 bets.
All right. Well, let's jump to the first game of our Saturday doubleheader because our Sundays are gone until Labor Day. We'll have one more Sunday, and then no more Sundays. We're now in the back end. Yeah. Well, yes, the one that matters the most. The one Sunday that can compete with NFL. For a day only.
You did it pretty well.
Yeah, fair enough. But now we have doubleheader Saturdays, so you'll get the afternoon game and then you'll have the evening game, which is a welcome move, I think. It's the schedule's kind of on and off.
I would have kept the Sunday games to Labor Day. I mean,
you think all summer
in NFL? Oh, Taylor Heineke against who's it? Like Henderson or whoever is Thursday night. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this week it might be better than the PJ Walker show after that. But I know you bet Ottawa. You're probably having a blast. Hopefully, I don't want to jinx it. Maybe PJ Walker comes out and surprises.
I mean, if there's one viewer watching right now, and I think it is who I think it is, he'll be watching the preseason. Yeah, we did. Hey, man, numbers don't matter. As long as you guys want to see our bets after, that's all that matters. Let's talk about this game. And I want to kind of pinpoint the difference this game has against the others this week. Every other game is under 51 points. This is the only one over 54. Last week, we had ridiculous point totals for every game suggested. And almost all of them hit under. Except for the obvious Hamilton game. This one comes at 54.5. Tell me what's different between this game, Hamilton versus Edmonton, compared to Saskatchewan versus Edmonton. Because I don't think this Hamilton team slows down like Saskatchewan does.
Yeah. Well, you look at that. So the total here is interesting. Yeah, how do you get under with Hamilton? I said at the beginning of the year, Hamilton's a dead nuts over team. Then me and my bum ass bets the under last week.
Bets the under, yeah.
I mean, the total was so high. I was like, maybe
it was 70 points. Milt said it was going to go 70 at the beginning of the show.
I know. All I heard all week was, it should be a shootout. I'm like, shit, I'm the only numbnuts to bet the under. And then it was looking okay for a bit. I was like,
it wasn't that bad. By half, it was okay.
Yeah, it got a little out of hand, per usual. It does in the CFL. Cody Fajardo comes in. Edmonton plays their best defensive game by a mile last week, and he scores 18 points. That's all you need to know. Who told you? I
was-
said it on the show last week. Don't tell them Cody's coming. What happens? Oh, it's Cody. It's a pocket passer. We're gonna kill him, and that's what they did. 8 sacks. I said it last week. This is the bum franchise who doesn't know what they're doing. That was a Bush League. You know, like you take every edge, every advantage you can get. You don't tell them Cody's starting. Keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Surprise them. Maybe they prepare for Ford. You know, maybe, like I said, maybe they pull a New York Jets from a few years ago. And they're like, oh, I wasn't ready. You know, I mean, I wouldn't expect that from the Rough Riders. Maybe they're not as prepared for Cody. Shut up.
We don't know if
Like,
Cody's playing this one. We're not guaranteed Cody's playing this one.
No. I heard Killam said after the game Cody's the starting quarterback, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
didn't he say
did
that?
he? I don't know.
I heard that was hearsay. I should have double checked that.
Well,
I heard that this week.
Cody only scored in the 4th. I mean, it was 21-4 going into the 4th. So those points only came to Saskatchewan.
I think he said that after the game. I'm gonna double check that.
I would
either
say
way, though, this is a dubious spot for Hamilton. I'm not betting Hamilton, but I'm not betting the Elks. There's no fucking way I'm betting on this. Not against Hamilton. I mean, here's the thing. This smells like a game where Hamilton, you know, that was a big win last week. Comeback win in BC. You know, back-to-back on the road. Next week, you got BC on a short week. You know, you could easily overlook the Edmonton Elks here. Nobody would blame you. But the problem is you can't bet the Edmonton Elks because even if Hamilton overlooks them, they could come and score 40 in the 4th quarter and come back or something stupid because the Edmonton Elks defense, one game isn't going to convince me that this defense is fixed. Okay. No, I mean it was a little bit, you know. Yes, they are good in the trenches. I'll give them that. They did hold AJ Ouellette to a modest 62 on the ground. They did stuff Saskatchewan at the goal line. They've been very good at this sort of this 3rd and 1s at stuffing opponents. So they
can hold the line. Yeah.
So they can hold the line, but the problem is if you don't get to the quarterback, you know the quarterback the passing game can cook them because their secondary hasn't been great. Tyrell Ford, haven't found him on with the telescope all season. Where has he been? You know what I mean? I asked security; they didn't know where he was either. I haven't seen him all season.
He's been bad compared to how much we saw him.
I don't know if he's been bad. I haven't noticed him. Well, where's he been?
Just not there. You know, Mechie obviously out again this week potentially. He hasn't practiced at all. You know, rookie of the year last year, Nick Anderson also out.
Yeah, he's out.
You know, here are people that matter. A bunch of guys who are mattering all out. You know, Cody Ford. I don't know if it really matters when you got most of Hamilton's team pretty healthy, pretty ready to play. But I agree. I think this is a spot where you know, it's been a grueling couple of weeks for Hamilton. A lot of strong games that they've had to play. It's not like they've run away with a lot of scores. Some of them they've had to come back in the 4th to win. Be very meticulous with it, but they are vibing. You know, some people have them at the top of the power rankings. 5-game win streak. A lot of people are expecting them to win. Obviously, you don't go into a game thinking you're going to lose, but I mean, are you looking ahead of next week?
They don't have to win by 5. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They only have to win. They kick a game-winning field goal in the 4th quarter. You lose, and I kind of feel like this is the kind of game where that happens. But I'm not betting Edmonton. No chances. If Hamilton comes down, they want to murder Edmonton. They will kick the shit out of this team because they are that much better, especially with Royce Mechie and Nick Anderson out. I mean, this could get. Oh, Kenny Lawler is probably going to murder them here. I don't know what his prop is, but I mean, Kenny Lawler props don't seem like a bad bet.
I have no idea what Edmonton's going to do. Are they going to double him?
Yeah, that's the problem, though. Does everybody start now taking the BC approach, where it's like, okay, we're just going to take Kenny Lawler? It didn't matter.
Just walk down the field.
Smith and Tim White, you know, cook you and or Leary Orange
or Smith.
I don't know. Like if Edmonton puts 4 guys in Kenny Lawler, is that enough? Like, I mean, does he still just cook all 4 of them? Yeah, there's no way. I bet the over here. It's just half a unit on the over. I mean, it's an Elks game. These games get, especially at home, these games can get crazy. I would only bet Hamilton, but the spot is an Elks spot, and the sharp money's coming in on the Elks. This is a tricky spot because this is the sandwich game between the 2 BC games. There's a short week next week, and this is the team where you kind of know, we can play 70-80% probably, because the Elks are just,
they do got a bye week in 2 weeks, and then you got your Labor Day
2 weeks.
class,
That's right? The thing, which is why it's like, okay, let's just get to Edmonton, get out with the W. Don't nobody get hurt. Win by 3 points. It doesn't matter how much we win by. Who cares? Get in, get out, get the W. You know what I mean? I don't feel like this is we're gonna run up the score on the Elks, but at the same time, the Elks start to score. This is definitely going over because Hamilton's down late. I mean, Bo should be able to put the points on these team. So I would rather have the over than Hamilton. But it's just a small because I could see it where Hamilton comes out flat and stays under because Edmonton's just they're just not. They don't have it right now. This team's a mess. The whole Eskimo nonsense. The whole the quarterback controversy. I thought Killen was a good coach. He looks like he knows how to coach up the special teams. He looks like he knows what he's doing, but maybe he's a rookie. Maybe he'll figure it out next year. But this whole team is just smells of incompetence, and I don't know if it's the new ownership group, but like, come on. I mean, like you said, it's going to be Ford's year. Now you're throwing in Fajardo for what? What are you winning this year? Like, are you really seriously going to come back and make a playoff push? Like, is that come on? Like,
you're only 2 games back.
I know they're only 2 games back, but I mean, come on.
Winnipeg started 0-5 last year. They started 0-5 in one division.
Is it Trey Ford's fault that the defense has allowed 30 points every game he's played? You know what I mean? And then Fajardo plays, they allow only 18. Maybe they like Fajardo. Maybe Trey Ford's an asshole. I don't know what it is. But, like, it's just this whole team stinks. Just blow it up. Like, just get rid of everybody. Start clean slate. This team is just pissing me off now. I believed in them at the beginning of the season. I said, this is the year they have a half-decent head coach who looks like he knows what he's doing, and the ownership's got to pull the fucking name crap again. You know what I mean? They're too worried about the name. I don't know if
the name brings the fans. The brand brings the fans.
And the fans,
you gotta say it, Edmonton is all about history. Come on. Think about how much they hold on to that
coach's decision. Do you think it was a coach's decision to pull forward, or was it upper management? Be like, oh, we got to start winning.
Upper management.
Yeah, exactly. There's meddling here. The name, like I said, the name thing should have been taken care of in February. They brought it up in fucking June, when the season is going to start. And that killed the whole season. Okay, yes, the defense is bad, but you can overcome a bad defense. It's football. We have rules that favor the offense.
They bought a bunch of guys. Free agency was all about.
I know they got a bunch of guys. Come on.
They took the entire Argos Grey Cup championship team. They're like, why don't they worked in Toronto? Why don't they work here? That's what they're saying. Come on, Serezna, Ford. Come on. Mechie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sick of this. They're starting to piss me off. This Elks team. I hope Hamilton kills them. If they win, good for them. I need them to win for the win total. If it's the PJ Walker show, maybe their win total is still alive. They got 3 games against Calgary, but I'm sorry, PJ. I know I'm picking on you this show, but
listen, PJ's
you're the talk of the town.
One game. He's getting one game. They're just giving VA. They're giving VA the break. He probably what Winnipeg should have done was just not play Colaros.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, they
don't let. And again, Edmonton, another incompetent team. Let Serezna play last week. Why? so you can lose again by 3, and lose by.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 21-4 in the fourth. That score was flattering, in my opinion. I know Brett Lother's missing kicks, and we'll talk about him in a minute.
How many wins do you need to make the crossover?
Oh, I need like 8.
That's right. It's not that much.
It's not going to happen.
You're not that far.
It's not going to happen. They're not. They'd have to sweep the Stamps. That's not going to happen unless we have quarterback. Unless the injuries really pile up.
Listen, for the betterment of the product of CFL, I'm hopeful that the backup quarterback era is hopefully coming to an end. But who knows? I mean, right now,
Edmonton has their starting quarterback, and they're still playing the backup. I don't know, this team,
because they don't know who they're.
Get out of this. I have a small play on this team. They pissed me off last week with their backdoor cover, where they somehow still lost.
18? Yeah, it was actually terrible. No, but I don't think the backdoor cover is on Edmonton's fault. I think that's on this Saskatchewan team.
Yeah.
Oh, I have both here. 2 minuses. Montreal is a plus. Yeah. Here's another interesting game because I can't figure out this Rough Riders team. Like, they look amazing first half. First half, everyone was looking. Even after the third quarter, everyone's like, "Game's done. Game's done." How does this team still let Edmonton score 14? The last half, the fourth quarter. Like, you're like, let's just do enough.
Their DNA.
Not lose the game. DNA. Just do enough. And then this Montreal team is the complete opposite. It's like they just don't die. They don't die. This team starts awful, looks awful. 2 weeks ago, they played against the Argos. They decided to only start running, minutes before the first half ended. And they still win the game. They sacrificed to the gods their quarterback and fucking breaks his leg, hamstring, and wins the game. And then last week, somehow, divine intervention again, 4 injuries miraculously to the Stamps, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here I go, I'm Maltos, I can kick over 50 yards, boom, win the game. Like, fuck.
It took a 58-yard field goal to beat Pieguy Walker and the Stamps down like 15 guys.
Yeah.
But they got the W, and everybody celebrated. MBT got his first one. He was better. He still threw that one pick in the middle of the game that was awful.
Yeah.
It
was the only
looked like Calgary was going to take over after there. They probably would have if it wasn't for the injuries. But Sean Lemon is back this week.
Yes.
And this is the third game where there's a key injury. And I don't know. He hasn't been ruled out, but he hasn't practiced all week, and that's Samuel Emelis. When Samuel Emelis has played, the Saskatchewan offense works. When he hasn't played, they have not been good.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have McLeod Thompson, who, the most Montreal scored in this stretch is 26. Oh, no, sorry, that was the Davis game. What did they score? Was the most 23? Was it last week?
It was last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So the most. Oh no, did they score some garbage? I don't know if they scored some garbage against Hamilton, but Hamilton scored 37 in that game, so it didn't really.
No, they had 17. They had 17.
Yeah, so 23 is the most they've scored with.
Was it Bethel versus Edmonton? No, it was Davis, right? It was Davis, still.
Yeah, Davis. Yeah, it was. MBC played Hamilton last week. NBC.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Did he play BC?
He didn't play BC.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so he has 2 wins now. He has 2 wins.
They lost to BC.
Oh, no, they lost to BC. Okay,
he won 21-20.
Yeah. Okay, so he has 1 win. Yeah, that was their second loss. Okay. I'm getting confused with all the comebacks and this, and it's getting late here. But yeah, Samuel Emelis is out. The Saskatchewan offense hasn't been good with them. I know. I keep hearing, they got these great wide receivers. They got all these,
They never show up.
John Johnson, Dante Myers, Schiefberger's hurt. They have this. What was the Robicelli?
Listen, they need Ajo. They need Ajo to not have a great Colts camp so he can come back.
Oh, yeah, he's in the Colts. Yeah, oh boy, the Colts. We're talking about them. in a few weeks. But we'll be talking about them, the two of us. The schedule we'll have out tomorrow. But the MLS is the key here with Harris. I mean, I have watched this team with and without MLS. Without MLS, it is not. It's not pretty. And another big injury is Mr. Mario Alford, because the guy they had back there last week fumbled the ball twice and arguably lost. Yeah, it could have lost. Like Edmonton could have won that game. I thought they got hosed a little bit on that call.
They did. Yeah.
So if Saskatchewan's playing anybody except Edmonton, they probably lose last week the way they play. I only got 8 sacks. The defense played well, but you got to score more than 21 points against the Elks. I mean, come on.
You got to drop at least 30.
And this is why I like. I mean, and Lothar's missing still. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's a good defense on both sides. Montreal is gonna, their D line is gonna be on Harris. No MLS to just to sort of draw double coverage. I think it's going to be a struggle for both teams to move the football because MBT is going to be a statue in there. Yeah. And God help me, I'm taking another under 50 here. I got a 50. In this game.
I don't think this passes 45. I think this is another 23-20. Yeah.
Like last week, I was, I'm like, should I take this under? This week, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I think it kind of looks good here. And then the more I dug, the more the under looked really, really good.
You got no Matt. You got no Philpott. He's throwing a speaker who had a rough game.
Montreal has very good receiver depth and very good defensive line depth. And those are where their injuries are. Saskatchewan does have very good receiver depth. I think MLS to the next guy, I think, is a big, big drop-off.
For Saskatchewan, yes.
Yeah, and this is a road game. Saskatchewan out east, not their best spot. So I also bet half a unit, Montreal plus 2.5. I will take the points because, they could win or lose by 1 point. They've done it a couple times this season. Or they won by 2 last week. They won by 1. Against Toronto, and then they lost by 1 against BC. So they 3 games have come within
1 point,
less than 3, right? So take the points. In my opinion, here I'm not taking the money line, just plus 2.5. This game is going to be tight. If Saskatchewan's up big, they're going to play that nonsense zone prevent defense that they did against Edmonton to let everybody back in.
The Corey Mace special, man.
Yeah, it's just, I'm worried. The one thing I'm worried about the under is that return. If he fumbles, but again, it's MBT. Like, it's gonna be slow drives, and they can't really run the ball either. So I don't know. They're gonna have to figure it out. But I just have a feeling Montreal wins this one. It's gonna be an ugly game.
It's my gut.
And I'll be watching SummerSlam instead. But
it won't be on the TV. Maybe on TV.
It might be fun. I mean, that's gonna be the funny. That's gonna be what are the Elks gonna do this week? You know what I mean? Or are they gonna get murdered? Is it gonna be an offensive showing? Are they gonna grind? At least the Elks are fun. But this game, it kind of smells like 20 to 19 kind of game. Walk off Rouge or some nonsense.
Walk off Rouge. I would love it.
It's going to be or the returner for Saskatchewan's going to fumble the ball into his own end zone for a Rouge or something. Like this feels like something weird's going to happen.
Take a knee. In the end
so
zone.
I don't think this gets over 47. So I'm gonna risk it again under 50 and the plus 2.5, half a unit on the plus 2 because I like the under a little bit more. I could see Montreal losing just because the offense doesn't work. And then, I'd still win half a unit in that scenario, just under half a unit after the juice. But, I
like it. I'm on board with that game. All right, man. Let's recap the week and the bets we have here. We have a couple, mostly packing in the Toronto-Winnipeg game. So while I'm reading these off, maybe you can think about what best bet you might want to talk about.
I already knew what the best bet was going in.
Oh, beautiful. So let me do the recap, and then you'll toss the best bet, and we'll talk about that and wrap it up. So in the Calgary Ottawa game, we got Ottawa minus 3.5. Obviously, there, the point shift there. It's the PJ Walker debut as a starter. A lot of questions there. A healthy Ottawa team. That's where we're leaning. With the Toronto Winnipeg team, Winnipeg. This is the smokes and mirrors part of the episode where I kind of labeled it. This Winnipeg team should be better. They don't look really confident. Brady says they're trying to gain confidence, or they're still confident. I don't know.
His words said one thing, and his body language said the complete opposite. His eyes, he looked like. And I forgot to mention, Winnipeg only had one practice because there was poor air quality. So it's not like they had time to make adjustments and adjust what he was doing and did what he's cooking. So right now
he is top tier. I would not be surprised if this guy gets this team into the playoffs, that they still do some damage. But anyway, we got Toronto plus 3.5 here. We're taking the points because they still could lose. But then we do think they can win it. So we're sprinkling a little bit there, third of a unit. And then we love Coxie's battle here. We do think he's got the advantage. You mentioned that there's, shop around. There's some books that offer a bit more yards. This
one was 5 yards less than FanDuel on 365. Yeah.
So take a look there.
Shop around. That's 5 yards is a lot.
It is. It's half a down. And then the Hamilton Edmonton game. Listen, we've been back in Hamilton quite a bit the last few shows, but this is the one where we think it could be a little iffy. It's going to be a lot dependent on how Edmonton plays and responds, but we like the over here. We think both teams are ready to shoot out a little bit here. And then it's an opposite story with the Saskatchewan-Montreal piece, especially if MLS is out, which looks like that might be the case again with his knee.
There's the under, there's 50 available. I took a 50.
Oh, even better. Then I'll put that.
Yeah. There's no 50.5. They got bought out, but
it's just straight up 50.
I was looking at just 50. So if it lands 50, it's a push. So shop around. There's a few 50s still out there. So
take the 50, take the under 50. Shop around, as Pieguy says here, and then we took Montreal in points. We're taking a half a unit there because this game might end with a Rouge. As we suspect. All right, so based on that summary, you already said you had a best bet in mind. I'm going to try to guess your best bet. I'm going to try to guess it. Did you have this in mind before the VA news?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So so here I'll tell the story.
all right. Tell me.
On Monday, when I was looking at everything with the Ottawa game, because I mentioned after the show last week, I was like, this could be a good spot for Ottawa. And I saw the injuries. I said, I'm going to come on the show Wednesday. I'm like, Ottawa plus 4.5. This is going to be the bounce back game. This is going to be it. And then, of course, VA gets announced down. The line was 8 points. So at minus 3.5. It's not my best bet. And unfortunately, my best bet is the Argos plus 3.5 because it's just they cook Winnipeg. Winnipeg looks like a mess right now, and it's injuries, and it's injuries to Stanley Bryant, injuries to Dalton Schoen, Zach Collaros injury too. I guess matters a little. I don't think it matters as much. I don't think it matters as much as. I don't think it matters as much as what people might think. I think Strevler has played better this season than Collaros in his short stints. But the key is Stanley Bryant. They have not won a game where Stanley Bryant didn't start. He's had an ankle injury. Him being out matters. Oliveira, like when I saw that video, I said, "Oh my God, the Argos should win this game." And this could get ugly. Like Winnipeg's been sold out now for how many in a row? Yeah, this game might end that. They might be sold for this.
No, they're like 300 from a sellout.
No, I'm saying after this game.
Oh, after this one.
I'm
Yeah.
saying this because they got
Well,
blown out last week by this, and I'm worried about Winnipeg because of the crowd might turn early here, and this could get ugly because if Winnipeg can't move the ball and Arbuckle looked really good. And I said a few weeks ago, I said, oh, that was Toronto's A game against Montreal. I remember I said that. I said, they're not going to repeat that. And they did. And now it's like, well, they've shown me enough. They're better than Winnipeg.
I think so.
Winnipeg's home field isn't 3.5 points. Not after you got booed. I'm worried about this Winnipeg team.
I mean, the next home game they get Ottawa, but if it's a healthy Ottawa,
that's the thing. It's the
and then after that you bring Saskatchewan over, and it's like
it's gonna be So I don't know. Home field. I've heard why you been there at home. That's the worst unless it's the Blue Jays who have like a 66% record at home. That's an awful reason to bet most of the time. Give me the Argos. You can do the chant. I'm not doing it as a Ticats fan.
Argos.
There you go. Yeah, Argos plus 3.5. That's the best bet.
Let's go.
And the shirt is on. It's not for me. I won't wear that.
Funny enough, our show lines up with an East sweep. Well, more or less.
I didn't bet the Ticats. It's a flat. I'm worried they come out flat. I am a little bit worried, but my God, I'm not betting the Elks. There's no way. I'm not enough points. Maybe if it was 7.5, the Ticats are much better than the line is bad, but the spot isn't right. I'm not walking into like Calgary last week. The line they're better than Montreal, but the spot was bad. Now, I know there were injuries, but it wasn't.
They were ready to cover 6.5.
Yeah, I might have got away with it. Like it looked like I was going to get away with it. It looked like if the injuries didn't happen, but that wasn't the right spot for the Stamps.
I feel like
Hamilton should if this was a different week, Hamilton's going to whoop the Elks, but not the right week to back them. I'll just pass and play the over because the Elks have only won one game and it's a big big number. I know last week. Another reason why I'm taking the over. Last week was an under, but 1 week. You know what I mean? So far, that's an anomaly in the Elks season.
Yeah, it has been. All right. Well, want to conclude with just giving everyone the announcement again. Pieguy Pick'em, your NFL series is going to be back August 8th with the start of the predictions for the upcoming season. You'll have a couple of preseason games under your belt for these predictions.
I'm not the biggest preseason watcher. I'll keep it on the news, the injuries. I'll take a look at the stats. The big thing with preseason is the one thing you can find out is, does the team have offensive line depth? But so that's the big thing. So if you do watch preseason, pay attention to offensive line, pay attention to teams that can block, because if linemen start getting hurt, that can really, really matter. The quarterbacks too, but a quarterback, you can just look at the stats. The real reason to watch is for the offensive line depth, because that doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. In terms of the show, it will be back August 8th. I will release the schedule this week. There will be one show a week. With 1 week, we'll have two shows. We will have the four. We'll have four season previews. We'll do the AFC and the NFC East, South, North for each preview show. So 8 teams, and then the extra show will be the fantasy preview show. That will be August 18th, Monday, August 18th.
18th for fantasy. So don't draft before you hear Pieguy.
If you're having your draft before the 18th, you should never have a draft. No, you shouldn't have a draft before the 18th because people tear their ACLs in preseason.
Yeah.
And then, you drafted, what happened?
Andrew
there
Luck?
was one.
Was it
It
Andrew
was
Luck?
like a top pick, and he Andrew Luck. Remember he retired?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
your
Everyone had
draft
him.
before the last week of August should have learned a long, long time ago. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do
Don't
that, please.
do it. All right.
It's just infuriating when you I drafted Andrew Luck in the 6th round and he's retired. No, not only injured, at least injured, he could come back.
No,
he
was
retired. Yeah.
You lost your QB1 for the season.
Yeah. And we've seen RB1s tear their ACL in preseason. Rookies. It's
Not make
you
teams
shouldn't draft before at least the last week of the preseason where most of the starters aren't playing.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I love football. We're getting double the amount of football in the next couple months. So it's going to be a little bit of a competition for big time football up here in Canada. One thing I am planning on doing is a little bit of a comparison between the two leagues when it starts their week by week comparisons, just to give people a little bit of intel, and mainly so I can spam a bit of the American audience with my Instagram and stuff, and let them know that hey man, the Argos and other teams are a thing up here. We're a bit better than the UFL, just a bit, maybe a bit more, but we're real. We're big time.
Spoiler: there might be multiple CFL teams who are power rated higher than the Saints. That team right now, oh boy,
they're
disaster
terrible.
waiting to happen.
Terrible. Oh, I can't wait to talk to the South with you, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Another great show. We'll be back again next week, and next week we'll also have the first episode of Pieguy Pick'em.
Oh yeah,
So,
double duty next week.
Double duty for you.
Next week until the Grey Cup.
Start drinking the teas and massaging the throat.
Yeah. Well, it's tea season coming. So it's too hot right now for the team. Maybe I'll have one now. It's cooler tonight.
But yeah, do a little bit of that. A little bit of your vocal massages. Make sure all that stuff. Shout out to Trish. She'll make sure you're safe and good. All right. With that, that's it. See ya. Peace.
Bye.
Argos.